Francis Disney, not surprisingly nicknamed Walt, has been at Somerset's only prison for half of his 20 years in the service. The book represents many hours of delving into its fascinating 375-year history. It's the country's oldest that still operates as a jail. The present buildings date back to the 18th century, and despite recent decoration, it's a sad and gloomy place. After it was opened in 1610, men, women and children were herded together in appalling conditions.
There were lots of diseases at the time: jaundice, itch, venereal diseases, people suffering from ulcers, and there was no medical aid for them. The doctor would possibly come in and pronounce someone dead, and the body would be taken out and buried.
One thing was better then, however. Each cell had a special toilet, a privilege not allowed present inmates. Early prisoners ranged from murderers to girls with nothing more than illegitimate children. In 1823, a treadmill was installed to give prisoners a break from smashing up quarry stone. Only the shed survives, but the wheel was built by crane makers Stothert and Pitt of Bath, and prisoners trod side by side on a 30-yard long cylinder.
The tread wheel held 40 prisoners at one time, and they would walk on this wheel by holding a bar, treading the stairs for 8 hours a day. And after about 3 days, this was equivalent to climbing Mount Everest.
Another infamous period in its history comes in the Second World War, when first the British and then the Americans used it as a military prison. Secrecy still surrounds what went on, but it is known that some dingy cells were used to store national treasures like the Doomsday Book. The last civil execution was held in 1926, but during the American war occupation, a special red brick hanging cell was added with built-in mortuary underneath. 21 Americans were hanged here for both desertion and civil crimes like murder and rape. No one knows if the British Army used it too.
This was the condemned cell. It is now a library, as you can see. This is where they spent their last 3 hours, in this room. And they were taken from this room, usually about 2 o'clock in the morning, into this room here, where they were hung. Mr. Albert Pierpoint used to come down from London to do the actual hangings. And you can just see on the wall, to this day, where the beam hung across. The actual trapdoor was just about here.
What an eerie place to
yes.
take out books now.
Yes, there's still many prisoners won't come in here now, even to choose books, once they've heard what the place was during the war.
Outside, the 35-foot walls bear silent witness to 2 more executions.
They were Americans, but of an Indian origin, Cherokees or some such status, and their religion would not allow them to be hung, and therefore they chose to be shot.
No one knows if they were deserters too. It's rumoured the bullet holes can still be seen, but even prisoners with time on their hands haven't found them yet. The original massive front door lock is now a museum relic, and the prison boasts many modern facilities, although it is overcrowded by over 40%. But it'll never lose its atmosphere, or the ghost of a lady in white, often seen and detailed in Home Office records. In 1680, a young bride killed her fiancé in a pre-wedding day rage. In the condemned cell, she made her last request.
And she chose, amongst her tears, to have her wedding dress brought in, because she said, "I shan't now be using it." And the sad part is, the next morning she was found dead in the cell, wearing the white wedding dress. She died of a broken heart.
The sad tale of the jail in Shepton Mallet.